recently I was midstream and we were talking about something microphone related and somebody jumped in with a question about my piercings. Even though I didn't originally start making content to talk about my tattoos and my piercings and things like that, I know that it's something that people are curious about and something that I do have a lot of for the common person, I suppose. So I've kind of come to terms with the fact that people are gonna have questions, and since I've already made a video about all my tattoos and I've started kind of bringing you along for my tattoos, I figured it was time to make a piercing video. Very easy, chill, quick one, because I don't have a lot of piercings compared to tattoos, but I think that's the one that most people are interested in because it feels more approachable than becoming as tattooed as I am. When you're someone who has a goal of being like heavily tattooed, it's almost like a gaslighting thing of like you're never actually heavily tattooed. I still look at myself and I'm like, I'm just a baby, I don't have many tattoos. And then I look at photos of myself standing with people who have none or have like a very casual amount and I'm like, oh shit, I got a couple. Today is the perfect day for me to talk to you about my piercings because I'm actually retiring a couple, which I'm really sad about and has been like a grieving process. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the piercing that I'm actually taking out. I figured I would go in chronological order of when I got them. I can actually do them for my piercings because I don't have many. And I've also gone through the depths of my Facebook to find photos of me with one piercing or when I just got them done. This right here is where it all began. I'm 5 years old in this photo. And if you zoom close, you can see that I've got little sleepers in my ears. I tried to message my mum and be like, hey, when exactly did I get my ears pierced? And she replied, I couldn't fucking tell you, that was over 20 years ago, which, you know what, fair. When I was growing up, I bullied my mum into letting me get a second piercing on my earlobe. I begged and begged and begged her for years and years and years to let me get that done, and I think we finally did when I was like 12 or 13. I don't ever wear earrings anymore. I wore earrings today for the occasion, but I never ever wear ear jewelry. With how many like headphones and radios and things I wear at work, they just get in the way and it's super annoying. Also, I, which we'll get to, tried to stretch my ears when I was younger, and so now my first ear piercings are a little bit too big. Like they never went back to the normal size, so some earrings don't fit in the hole. I don't have any photos of my second earlobe piercing. Maybe if I get close enough I can show you. Yeah. So you can see they're my first holes, and then there's these second ones, which honestly, I'm not even sure if they're still open anymore. I cannot remember the last time that I tried to put jewelry in them. Super unfortunately, this is a really accurate up-close photo that I have of my first nose piercing. I got this done when I was 17, and I remember it being painless. Like, I don't know whether it was just because I was so excited, but I don't remember this hurting at all, which is super ironic because a year after that, when I was 19, I went and got my septum pierced. This is the night I got my septum pierced, and I went with a friend who also got hers done. I went first, and thank fuck I went first because she bled a lot, like a lot for some reason. And mine was super quick, super painless. The jewelry being put in was the most uncomfortable experience, which is pretty common for septums because it's just that little squishy bit of skin. Having just my septum and one nostril did not last long though because the lack of symmetry was killing me. So a couple of weeks after I went and got the other nostril done as well. I took 2 friends with me to get this piercing done who were just visiting in town. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go get another piercing because I thought I was very tough. It was so excruciatingly painful. It was so bad. The friend that I took was like, don't you ever bring me to something like this again. So when I was in high school and I tried to stretch my first ear piercings, I remember the first time I did it, I went and bought like a little plastic piece of jewelry to try and do it with, not following any of the correct instructions or the way that you should do it. And I remember pushing it through my ear in a public bathroom. I can't remember when I took them out. I think I got up to like a 6mm stretch situation, and then I took them out, and then once I left school and went to uni, I eventually started stretching them again. I don't have any photos of the ear stretching, but I remember that I kept getting stuck around that 6mm part. Like I kept finding it hard to go any higher. I know for some reason, out of memory off the dome, that the jewelry that I'm wearing in this photo is an 8mm piece, and I was so struggling to just get the other 2 mils in. So I eventually took them out. I always loved the look of stretched ears, and I love the way they look still on the people who have them. I don't have mental energy for piercings. I'm very much with body modification, someone who wants to get a thing, heal the thing, and then it's done. So if it takes months and months and months or years for something to heal properly and you have to baby it for that long, I really struggle with it. I think that's why tattoos work so well for me, because you get it done, you heal it for a couple of weeks, and then it's done. It's on you forever and it's fine. Piercings have always been a bit of a pain in the ass because you have to baby them. So ones that are high maintenance, I just can't deal with. And I think that's why the stretched ears and I never really got along. Now we enter philtrum era. This was the day that I got my philtrum pierced. This is a piercing that I had wanted for as long as I could remember. I thought they were so pretty. I thought that they would fill the gap on my face. I always felt really insecure about like how long my Cupid's bow, philtrum, I always felt like this gap between my nose and my lip was huge. So that's why I put a bunch of dangly pretty things on it. So wanting to get that done was something that I'd wanted for years and years and years and years and years. And I remember talking to my mum about it once when I was on holidays visiting her. And I said to her, because she wasn't really like thrilled by the piercing, she was like, oh, I don't know, it's like right in the middle of your face. It's like a lip piercing, which is a bit more intense. But I had told her that the only reason that I hadn't gotten it done yet was because the person that I was dating at the time told me that they thought they were unattractive, even though I wanted one. So my mother immediately took me to get it done and paid for it. And that is one of the reasons why it is my favorite piercing, because it was just a nice little lesson from my mum. Fuck other people's opinions, do what you want for you. And it's still my favorite piercing and it hasn't been an issue. It fucking sucked to get done. My mum laughed at me the whole time, but it was horrific. The swelling, the feeling, like the skin around your mouth is so sensitive and it swells so much. The healing was pretty shit. I had like a duck face for quite a while, just in the top lip. It was the first time that I had a piercing that would swell. I had the smallest possible like ball on top that I could get, that the piercer would let me have in there. And then there was a night where I ran a fever. And when I ran the fever, the whole of my face swelled and the piercing pulled back through the hole. And I wanted to have a breakdown. I was so scared that I had fucked up the piercing, that I was gonna have this massive scar on my face, that I wouldn't be able to get it back in, that it was just gonna keep happening. I really, really struggled with that for a long time. Now I'm at a place where it doesn't really get impacted that much. I've also put a much larger piece of jewelry, like the surface area of the jewelry compared to the hole that's pierced is much larger. So even if I do have those times where my face gets inflamed, which happens to me quite a lot, weirdly, I'll just take an antihistamine, put an ice pack on my face if I need to, and the swelling will go down pretty quickly. But the jewelry itself is like a little opal situation, and it's so much bigger than the actual hole because it means that it can't pull back through the hole, which is terrifying. A lot of people, when they have piercings like this around their mouth, it's something that rubs on their teeth. Mine does not touch my teeth at all. I don't know whether it's just my anatomy, but the location of my piercing sits above my teeth onto my gums anyway, and the jewelry is fitted correctly so it doesn't rub, it doesn't move around in my mouth, it's just snug in my lip. Make sure you downsize your jewelry when it is the right time. Make sure you have the right size jewelry in it according to your piercer. On to my final 2 piercings. All up I have 10 currently. I've got 4 on my ear, 5 on my nose, and 1 on my lip. The 2 final ones that I got the most recently are the ones that I am retiring. And I'm really, really sad about it because I wanted these for a really long time and then I finally got them and they have been such a massive pain in my ass, and that is my high nostrils. I don't have any photos, weirdly, of me going to get this done, or a lot of photos where you can see it very clearly. The second ones above my normal nostril are my high nostrils. As you can probably see, they stick out of my nose a bunch, and this one is bigger than that one. Why? Well, from the moment I got these pierced, I started having issues with them. The swelling thing that my face does also impacts my nose. Who'd have thunk it? The one on the right used to give me a lot of grief. It used to get infected all the time, and I don't know why, it was just super sensitive, and I babied it and I babied it, but I had to keep really long jewelry in the piercing, and that is still the case. I still have crazy long jewelry inside the piercing. The long jewelry means, and this is going to be real gross TMI for a second, means that snot, because of where they're positioned on my anatomy, builds up and gets hard around the piercing. From like a few months after I got these pierced and they were kind of a little bit more healed so that I could get up in there, to now, like what, a year and a half later, every single morning when I wake up, I have to shine a torch up my nose and I use tweezers to pick the giant calcified, sharp bits of snot off the inside of the piercing. That is so much maintenance. It is uncomfortable. It hurts. The way that the piercings stab me hurt. They keep flaring up. That one flared up when we were in New Zealand and started getting irritated and inflamed, so I put a larger piece of jewelry in there while we were there. Then it kind of went down and it did its thing. Because before that, I had jewelry in it that kind of fit and it looked really cute, but I was still having to do the inner nostril pulley-outy, fucky-wucky thing, and the piercing jewelry was still getting super tight whenever my face got hot. Usually, in a normal day, my face will look like this, with the piercings sticking out of my face, and it's not the look that I wanted for these piercings. I haven't been able to put in jewelry in them that I love. I haven't been able to go a day without thinking about them in a way that is because they are hurting me or annoying me. So because of that, I'm gonna be taking them out. I cannot deal with having to manage them every single day, and it is ruining the joy of having them for me. And that is, like I said, for me, I'm not someone who's really good at babying my piercings, so that is what we're doing. It also gets caught on stuff all the time because they stick out. It gets caught on towels, it gets caught in my hair, it gets caught on stuff at work, and then yanks, and that's super annoying. They're also uneven. If they were in the perfect positions, I would probably fight a little bit more to keep them, but they are uneven. It's just time for them to go, and time for me to put jewelry in them that I actually love and can invest in, because the reason that I have opals in my philtrum and then just like plain jewelry in the rest of my piercings is because to redo a set, like a full set for 5 or 6 piercings for like my philtrum and all my nose piercings would cost me a house deposit. Not really, but it would cost thousands of dollars. I am not against spending thousands of dollars on body modification, obviously. But when it comes to piercings, I found that I like more plain jewelry anyway. I'm not someone who changes in and out my jewelry every day. I don't even take it out myself. I will be going to a piercer to get this removed today. But I just want like a nice set of jewelry that I love and can leave in my face and that I can set and forget. That I can just leave it in there and I don't worry about it. It doesn't get caught in anything. I'm not picking boogers out of my nose with tweezers. I can't explain to you how unattractive that action is. This poor man has watched me dig into my face with tweezers almost all of our relationship.
On the daily.
On the daily. But that is all my piercings. I don't plan to get any more. I'm not really like a piercing person. In my ideal world, I've always wanted to get my ears pointed, so I've left my ears alone. That's not gonna happen until I leave theater and am able to take a break for a hot second from the industry. I might try and get my high nostrils re-pierced one day because I do love them, but if I can find jewelry that mimics for me the coverage of jewelry on my face that I want, not a chance. I will be sticking to the ones that I want, because as much as I want to have a bunch of weird, wonderful piercings, piercing management and babying and I, we're just not friends. If you have any questions about piercing and stuff, let me know. But if you have any questions about healing, what kind of piercings would suit your lifestyle, take that to a piercer, because I'm not a professional. I'm just a person who puts holes in my body. Thank you so much. That's the video.